Well, hello everybody, and welcome back. I'm going to play a quick video for you, and then we'll start everything. I should have just played it going in, but now.
He said, she said, Teresa Balboa had something to do with it. A woman who at first told police she had seen Samuel as late as last week, but a neighbor who lived across the street from Samuel's father and who was a teacher at Samuel's school told police something different.
Since the school wasn't open, my sister called the principal and was like, hey, when was this little boy last at school? Which was, I guess, the April 30th.
And after further investigation, police found out more. According to court documents, on May 10th, Balboa told her roommate, Benjamin Rivera, who she lived with in this Webster apartment, that Samuel was dead. Rivera went inside the apartment and saw his corpse on the bed. There was bruising on his body. The document went on to reveal that Rivera stated that he and Balboa placed Samuel's corpse in a bathtub where he remained for 2 days. Rivera told investigators he purchased duct tape in a plastic tote on May 13th from Walmart, eventually driving the body to a storage unit in Webster. According to these documents, Balboa then called another friend who helped remove Samuel's body from Webster to this motel in Jasper, where police later found his body. According to investigators, he was wrapped in plastic bags and secured with duct tape inside a tote bag.
Newly filed court documents in Harris County are shedding new details on what happened in the days and weeks leading up to that horrific discovery in room 106 of this Jasper motel. Teresa Balboa is charged with a felony, tampering, fabricating physical evidence. That evidence, Houston police say, a human corpse tampered with at Balboa's Webster apartment. Police say surveillance video proved Balboa's story that Samuel Olson's mom took the child May 27th was false. Court documents instead claim that Balboa called her roommate May the 10th and told him Olson was dead. That roommate allegedly came home, saw Olson unresponsive on the bed with bruising, and put the body in a bathtub with Balboa's help. 3 days later, May 13th, court documents say that roommate bought duct tape and a plastic tote, put Olson's body inside, then drove the body to a storage unit in Webster. Around 5:30 this past Tuesday afternoon, Jasper police got a Crime Stoppers tip that Balboa was at that motel, possibly with Olson. Court documents say officers were sent there 5 minutes later, got inside with the manager's help after no one answered the door, and found Balboa in the bathroom and the child's remains inside a secured tote. Houston police say surveillance video from 3:30 earlier that morning shows a pickup arrive with the tote in the bed of the truck. It also allegedly shows the driver check in, then enter room 106 with a woman. Around 6 a.m., video allegedly shows the man move the tote inside that room before driving away.
All right. Let me get my big face back on here for you guys. Hello. How is everybody? So I pulled it up right now, and I'm actually going to...
We're going to do her
it's talking again. Sorry. So I'm not used to this stuff. So I pulled it up just to remind everybody what that was, what was really going on towards the end of what we knew with Samuel Olson. In case a few people didn't hear, Teresa was indicted, and she will be indicted for tampering with the human corpse. And, she killed the baby with blunt force trauma. And right now, what they're saying is that not only is she still being looked at for other things, but they're still looking at the other suspects in this case. And the other people in this case would be Benjamin. What's his face? The guy who drove her to Walmart. I'm sorry, the guy who drove her to Walmart. I mean, the guy who took her to the hotel. I can't believe I just forgot his name. That guy, the guy who called Crime Stoppers, and Dalton is still being looked at. So despite what I've been saying this whole time, that I don't think Dalton is involved, I think the police are still thinking he may be involved. And I thought that was actually really big of them to say that he is still a person of interest when they look at who may have harmed Samuel. I don't know what's going on there, but we did get, that's not the only update. We did get something else. So his mom, who hadn't seen him in over a year, Sarah Olson, a lot of us heard her press conference, and her press conference was given by an attorney, and a lot of people were making fun of her attorney, but that's not what I care about. I thought he was great. So the reason they were making fun of him was because he was kind of getting emotional, and he sounded like he had stepped out of his professional pocket, and he was kind of, he wasn't speaking very professional. And I think that this next article that I'm about to read to you guys is maybe the reason why he was probably so affected, or they were as a team. They had been working with her the entire time trying to get him back. So she actually was making efforts to get him back. And there is actual proof that Samuel had filed to get sole custody of Dalton had filed to get sole custody of Samuel the day after they reported him missing. So the day after they reported him missing, he went and tried to get custody of Samuel still. Now, my first thought was, why would he do that? And, I made it in my head, it went bad really fast. It just, the first thing that I thought was, that can't be good. That means he wants to get sole custody of the baby. That means he doesn't want her to see him. That means that he thinks that he's going to hide him that way and maybe not give him back to the mom, and maybe, like somehow have another way to not provide proof that he has him. But then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? This is how brainwashed Teresa had him. She really had him thinking that despite the fact that the mom was able to prove that she was at home when this happened, that it was her. And that's why he was going to try to file full custody. He filed full custody because he thought she was an unfit mother. And my first thoughts were bad. And then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? This is her still trying to, manipulate him into thinking that she wasn't guilty, or that Sarah had actually taken him. Because we have to think about it. She's technically the bad person here. And if we need any proof, she was caught in a hotel room with this baby in a tote, and she was going to go dispose of him. Obviously, she wasn't just going to keep him. Let me just read a little bit what you guys are saying so I could. So Charlie Ann says he maybe wanted tax money or stimmy money. And then All American Cartel, what's up? He says the screen on the digital camera. Oh yeah, in the tote. And then he's just not rehearsed in criminal. I don't think he read. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I don't know. And he is. He's so cute. So I thought that was really weird for him to have done. And then it made me think that maybe even if they're still looking at him, I think it's only to clear him. And I thought that was a big deal because they make it seem nefarious and people want to get put up in arms. And I did. When I first read it, I thought about it, but it took me a minute and I thought it out, and it took me a while. I was going to go live and then I didn't. And then Crazy messaged me something about a Darian Brown update, and I thought, okay, it's time to go over this again. I wish I would have gone live. She's like, go live. Okay, I'm going to go live. I thought that was interesting that that's how the media can switch things around. I really think that if you think about it, if he went to go file for custody of his son the day after he went missing, it was because he really thought that his son was around. I think that he really thought that something was going on. And it took me a moment to come to that conclusion. I thought maybe I can help people come around to that. And I'm not somebody that's going to stand here and rally around everybody and be like, oh no, he's innocent. But if you know me well, you know that I think everybody's guilty. So me saying this about Dalton is, I don't know, it might be shocking to some people that I'm saying that I think he's innocent in all of this, but I really do. I really think he is. And I think that if he went and did this, it was because of Teresa. But not just that. The mom had said that she didn't even know that Samuel was missing until the police got there. So until the police went to her to check her cameras to see if she was home, she had no idea her son was even missing. And because of court documents, I now know that she actually was fighting to get her son back. And so her attorneys were making statements. Hi, trusting Lord, how are you? Oh, Nicole Morgan strikes again. You have a missing child. Do you focus on searching for him or worry about court proceedings? I am finding it hard to buy this dad's story. Nicole Morgan, I completely understand. And that was the first thing I thought of too. I was like, no way. Like, or not no way, but like, ew. Like, why would that be the first thing he thinks about? But I think he really thought that she had him. And if you are not the sole provider, I mean, not the sole provider, if you're not the sole if you don't have sole custody, you're going to have to fight for sole custody, especially if the mom's coming around and quote unquote kidnapping him. And up to this point, that's how Samuel really felt about her. Sarah they had their problems, and I'm not going at bat for him and I'm not going back for her, because I think what she did to him was kind of like, well, that's what you get. So she was trying to get the baby back from him, and he didn't want her to let her go, and he jumped in front of her car and she hit him with her car. So with that, he was able to file a restraining order, and she couldn't get in contact with him, like literally couldn't get in contact with him, or else she would get arrested. And then that happened. So they were having court proceedings when this was going on. They had literally had court planned for the next day, and they had court a few days before that. So I really think that Dalton following through with everything and doing this is really him trying to follow with what Teresa was saying. I think Teresa really was brainwashing him to make him believe that his son had really been kidnapped. And I think he really did believe her. I really do. Idiot, but clearly he's not the only idiot. There's 2 other guys that helped her out. I don't know what this girl has, but maybe 3 boobs. I don't know. So I was going to read something from the news. It said, Balboa's roommate told investigators that he arrived home on May 10th and saw Sam's body bruised and lying on the bed. He said Balboa placed the body in the bathtub, where it remained for 2 days. They later wrapped the body in plastic, placed it in a bin, and transported it to the storage locker. The roommate told officers officers according to court records filed in Balboa's criminal case. There are a myriad of unanswered questions in this disturbing case. Notably, why was Sam in Balboa's care? She had been charged with felony assault in November for allegedly I'm tongue-tied today, for allegedly choking Dalton Olson, according to court records and under a restraining order to have no contact with him or his family. She had been released on a $15,000 bail in the case that she had been scheduled to be arraigned for that month, according to court documents. So this is what I was trying to read. Hi, Monica. How are you? Yeah, you should be paying attention. No, I'm just kidding. Talk amongst yourselves. I don't care. You guys, once you hear something that will interest you, you'll be like, wait, what'd you say? Sometimes I say something important. Sarah Olson had not spoken publicly since the news broke that her son had been reported missing, though her attorney, Marco Gonzalez, had expressed his heartbreak that she had not seen Samuel for nearly a year beforehand. Gonzalez, who represented her in her legal battle to regain her son, had told reporters that Dalton Olson had eluded court efforts to force him to return Sam to Sarah's custody, who she had primary custody of. His father had visitation rights, and he had failed to return Samuel for more than over a year. Court records show that process servers over that period of time had been unable to deliver court filings to Dalton Olson. So more than one process server was able to show that they were unable to deliver court filings. That, yes, if you're saying good to hear about that, that's what I feel too. Like, that makes me feel good. It makes me feel sad for her, but it makes me feel good that somebody was trying to fight for Samuel, that Dalton is guilty of being a dum-dum and a bad dad. I don't know how far he went into this to helping his son pass away, but until now, I had not really known so much about Sarah, and then this kind of made me feel like, yes, she was actually fighting to get her baby back. Hey, Karen, how are you? She did try to get police officers involved, but in Texas, the standard answer is you have to take it up with the judge, and that I know. It's even in California. Thanks. You have to take it up with the judge. Legal advocate Jill Pruitt-Allred told Inside Edition Digital. Allred says Sarah Olson reached out for help in locating Sam after media reports surfaced about him being missing. Allred is a legal and social services advocate for foster children and teams of victims of blank abuse. And she has spoken on social media about Sarah Olson's efforts to locate her son. Custody disputes are particularly hard to resolve because unfortunately judicial ruling is sometimes impossible, she said. It is tough because what is the point of a court order if only the judge can enforce it? The Houston Police Department does not enforce custody orders. It is a civil matter. Anything civil, we don't enforce. It has to go through the court system. And that's true. Anytime a police officer shows up to something like that, they tell them that. It's a civil matter. They don't want to get into it. Every once in a while, if there's something dangerous going on, they will leave the child with the parent who isn't going into custody, frankly. And that's just because they don't like paperwork and they don't want to have to do it that night. Unless they really have to do it because they're court-mandated reporters, they won't. So, when officers arrived to question Sarah Olson after Balboa and Dalton Olson said she had taken the child, the mom showed them surveillance camera video showing that she had never left her house that day. Sarah didn't even know the child was gone until they accused her of kidnapping him. She was desperate. Sarah did not respond to a request for comment from Inside Edition. Olson's mother, who was handling the funeral arrangements for her grandson, declined an interview for the request. Declined a request for the interview. Wow, I'm going dyslexic today. Hey, Delaney. How's my girl? Criminal Imagination said, he did, but I haven't heard any specific information verifying or refuting that, Nicole Morgan. So, what did Nicole Morgan say? She says, I have a timeline request. I thought the dad told police that he had taken talking to Samuel on the phone, which conflicted the coroner's system. This is correct. This is correct. Samuel Olson's dad had told reporters and the police that he had spoken with Samuel while he was at Grandma Judy's house, which would be Teresa's mom, on the 21st. So this would be 11 days after he had gone missing and 6 days before he was found, when he was technically passed away for more than that when he was found. Somebody said, or her mom. What was that? I thought her mom said that neither of them had any business having him. She did. She did say that. But, sometimes they're upset when they say these things, and they will say it out loud, but they won't take them from them when it comes down to it. That's just something they would feel. Chrissy Lou says, has the grandmother spoken since the presser? She did. She did, but simply to say that Dalton wasn't ready to speak out and that, of course, they're devastated over what's going on. Why are you so dumb? Wait, what? Be interested to see what Dalton's mom had to say now. Hey, Amanda Stovall, how are you? So let me keep reading it so I can finish that. And then I was going to also go over the updates of the Darian Brown updates that just came out. I didn't do any of them today or yesterday, so I'm just going to catch up. So, Dalton Olson did not respond to an interview request. His attorney, Samuel Venestra, did not respond to an email and a phone message left by Inside Edition. Venestra told local reporters his client had no part in Samuel's disappearance and denied any wrongdoing in the case. Dalton told investigators that Samuel had been in Balboa's care since April 30th, the last day anyone outside of the relatives reported seeing him. But that's not true, because we now know that Grandma says that she had pictures and shown proof that the pictures were time-stamped for the 2nd, and that she had him the weekend of the 2nd, and that was when they gave him to Teresa, which I think she said she gave him to Teresa to take care of while he was sick, so he wouldn't get Samuel's grandpa sick, who lived with them. So the public defender, Robert Scott, appointed to represent Balboa earlier this week, did not respond to voicemail seeking comment. Gonzalez also did not respond to her request from Inside Edition, though he has told local reporters that his client is too distraught to speak to the media and is focused on finding out what happened to her son. I've seen all of the pictures and videos of Samuel, said Allred. He was just like so many other 5-year-olds. He was a happy kid. He loved dinosaurs and he loved his action figures. Sarah Olson has been posting videos of her son Samuel on social media. The mother did not know her former husband had filed for a restraining order against Balboa or that his girlfriend was caring for Samuel. So his mom didn't know. Sam's mom didn't know that. Hey, Lisa, how are you? Yeah, Sam's mom didn't know that Teresa had him. So that speaks volumes to me. She probably thought either Samuel had him or that Samuel's mom had him. I don't know who she thought had her son. Clearly, she hadn't spoken with him or seen him. She hadn't seen him in a year, but clearly she hadn't spoken with him in about a month. But either way, she didn't know who her son was with. Hey, Dawn, how are you? So, Dawn, I'm reading an article that came out about Samuel Olson, and that, they're stating that his dad was still a suspect in the case. And then they're also saying that the day after Sam went missing, that he went to court and filed custody of Samuel, which he didn't have fully. He was just a visitation parent. She had primary custody, but they did share it, which meant he could see him and stuff, and they didn't have like a plan. But I think. But either way, that the day after he went missing, he applied for sole custody, saying that she was an unfit parent. But this is also the same day. I mean, this is also after the police have verified that she was at home when Samuel went missing. So she had no idea Samuel was even missing. She was at home. The cops show up and ask her for surveillance or proof that she was at home, and she was able to show surveillance. So even after she was able to prove it wasn't her, Samuel went out and did this. I personally think that this meant that Teresa was brainwashing him to really think that it was her. Like, I don't know, because she told the cops, I don't know how she did it. Like, kind of telling them, like, I don't know how she would be at two places at once, but she did it. Like, obviously it's there. She was there. I saw her. Yes, Dalton. Yes. Nope, that is correct, Nicole Morgan. That is correct. Dalton, the father of Samuel, had a restraining order against the bio mom and his fiance. And his fiance was caring for his son in the time of his death and has now been charged in his death. So this is basically saying that he left his son with somebody who had previously tried to choke him. But in his own words, they had been trying to work it out and they had worked over that. But technically, in the eyes of the law, that's still that she still wasn't supposed to be around him or his son. And if he wouldn't let the mom come around, why would he let his girlfriend come around? If he wouldn't let the mom take care of the baby, why would he let his girlfriend take care of the baby? I don't know. So what Brittany's saying is, hey, Brittany, I'm sorry I'm not buying what Dalton is serving. I just can't with this story. And criminal imagination does say, yep, makes no sense. But he's used to be abused dysfunctional relationships. That's exactly what I'm looking at. That's really what I think. I really think that he was being abused. And I don't want to say, like, I don't poor him, but some guys just are submissive, just like some girls are submissive. And I'm not saying everybody is. There's just some people that are. And this guy's, clearly been abused. There's a line that I say, like, as a joke, because it's from The Hangover, where he's like, she only hit me one time and I was out of line. But I say it to my husband, like, that was only one time and you were out of line. Just joking, because hitting somebody is never okay. Like, there's this thing saying, like, if you're going to hit your children, to ask them for permission. And I was like, no way. I can find other ways to punish my kid. Believe me. I've made my kid throw away her favorite toys and stuff, I learned this from other moms. This is just the way that it's got to be. You have to learn how to teach people that it's not okay to hurt somebody because you got hurt by them emotionally. It's just dumb. That's not how it works. Fight them with your words. Maybe. Don't push that either. Some people enjoy being submissive. I don't get it, but it's definitely a thing. Absolutely. There's whole professions with it, right, Amanda? And I really think that that's what it is. I really think that that's the kind of person that he was. Let's see what's criminal imagination had to say. Yeah, not pitying him, but it is a pattern. It makes you wonder what sort of parent he was if all he didn't know. Oh, I just made it bigger. That made it so much easier. Okay. Makes you wonder what sort of parent he even was at all if he didn't know. That's even worse in a way of not checking on your own child for so long. Like, what the F? Did the kid ever do to deserve this? Nothing. He didn't do anything to deserve it. And also, I had said this before, and this isn't giving him any excuse. But if he was on drugs, or if he was just a working parent or just a distracted parent, I've seen people that lived in the same town as their kids who were pretty good parents, and they didn't see them. They would FaceTime them, they would call them, but they didn't see them. They would sometimes call the mom for an update, but they didn't see their kids. But they liked their kids. Every once in a while, they were a weekend dad, and they were the most amazing dad ever. But most of the time, the mom took care of the kids. It happens all the time. Oh, man. Don Cobb and I went in, and Tim Miller had to convince Dalton that Teresa was lying through her teeth. Yes, this is also why I'm thinking that, Don, because Don sent me these interviews that I have not yet to record. I did a video with a lot of with a lot of Tim Miller's interviews in it, and I think it was my last Samuel Olson video. And he was telling her, like, you are going to find that baby, like, we're going to do this tonight. You're going to figure it out. We're going to get him. Okay. So, Nicole Morgan, thank you so much. You could just leave me a comment. I'm sorry if I don't see it. Just make splashy sounds around it or something. So he files a restraining order because he's afraid of her, and that's the reason for a restraining order, correct? But he's like, here's my kid. I'll call you next week. Peace out. Well, you have to think about it. In terms of fast relationships, from November to now was a really long time. If they were together from November to now after they worked it out, that's a pretty long time in short-term relationships. And I'm thinking he's the kind of person that does a lot of short-term fast relationships. They had already been engaged. We've all seen that picture that has like a little mock-up that says she said yes. That's the kind of person that I feel that they were. Hey Rosie, how are you? Wow, see, that's some scary-ish. He had to be convinced. Yeah. He had to be convinced. Let's see, Lisa. Hey, Lisa. I do feel sympathy for Dalton. He seems legit heartbroken, but I can't help but feel like he is still holding out with more info to spare about Teresa. Oh, allegedly with Brittany, I feel like he's going to come to these things. Like at some point, all these things are going to fit with like, oh yeah, that goes with what I was thinking. Oh, I mean, now that makes sense what she was doing right here. And I'm sure he scorned. She basically finished this case off. Like the way that this case is going to end is her running away with a guy to get rid of his son. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how that would make me upset. I mean, it would be selfish of him to be upset for that, but we're only human. Dalton has used the police to get restraining orders. Yep, he has. And then All American. Well, if you had to be convinced, he probably is holding back. Like I said, I feel like things are just going to fall into place. Like he's going to start to understand at some point. Like that makes a lot of sense. Dalton falls for love bombing, yet who was showing Samuel with little love? Yep. Yeah. Who was showering little Samuel? No one was loving him. And I sometimes am wondering what's Benjamin's role? I'm not completely sure if Teresa was the only one hurting this little boy. This guy clearly maybe had a reason to hide him, allegedly, right? To help dispose of him, to keep him in a bathtub. And they're saying that I have an interview with the neighbor where she's saying that she heard scratches in the tub and that she told her boyfriend, like, that's scary. Like, what is that? And everyone's trying to figure out what it was. And not one person has said, what if it was ice? I think they were putting ice inside of the bathtub because they had him in there for 2 days and this bathtub was connected to their bedroom. This was a 1-bedroom apartment and it only had one bathroom and it was inside of the bedroom. We've all seen those single apartments. I think that's what it is, personally. That is super creepy, right? And not just that, her former neighbor also said that she could hear Samuel screaming, and that made me want to cry. That she could hear Samuel screaming, and that he sounded like he wanted, like, that he needed help, that he needed to get out of there. And then everyone's like, "Well, why didn't you call 911?" And I'm like, as a mom, sometimes you hear kids crying, and you're like, "Oh my god, I feel so bad for that mom," because sometimes kids just scream. And if you're a mom, sometimes you are willing to ignore kids screaming because my kid will cry bloody murder and you'll walk up to her and you'll be like, what happened? And it's like, the dog ran outside. How dare she? How dare her dog run outside? And she's like screaming. And you can't, I mean, my oldest daughter, I had a thing where like I could tell her cries, but this one, she just screams and she screams really loud. So I think as a mom, sometimes you forgive cries, especially if they're home all day. Kids cry. And I'm not saying that she should have like not called the cops, but I think as a person and as a mom, you're willing to ignore things like that and also trying not to be like a busybody. I don't know. I don't think she really knew everything in the story. Ugh, Benjamin. Yeah, I can't even find anything. Like, I don't even know who this guy is. And I really can't find much on him. And you guys know, like, that's what I do. And I've spent, I want to say like 2 full nights, just looking for stuff on him. And aside from like what we already know, I know nothing. I have pictures of him, but I mean, what do I get out of that? I want to know more about him. So, there's still more to read. I just keep getting distracted. But yes, that was so sad to me. So let's see. I scrolled up. Why? So what are you guys saying? Yeah, but even Dalton's Facebook was Nicole Benjamin is the boyfriend who was living in the apartment. Actually, it was his apartment that Teresa and Samuel were staying in when Samuel died. And he's the guy who watched her put him in the bathtub and left him there for 2 days, and then went to Walmart, purchased a tote. I mean, not the tote. I'm sorry. Purchased duct tape and wait, I think he did buy the tote. Yeah, he didn't buy zip ties. He bought the tote and duct tape. And there's receipts. I might be wrong on that. For some reason, I've been doing a lot. Teachers, kids, a scream help, or I don't know this person, but he did know her. I think he did know her. Yes, he did, and he wrapped him in plastic and duct taped it, and then put him into the bin and took him to the storage unit. Yeah. Monica says, you should hear one of my grandsons scream when he doesn't get his way. It will send you straight to the room. When yes. Mike, it's sad to say that sometimes you will ignore a kid screams when you hear it. Like, not my kid, but like when I hear a kid scream in the street, because I'm thinking, I don't know this kid. I don't know this mom. I bet this kid is just crying. And that's just, as a mom, you just want to give all the moms benefit of a doubt. I'll think twice now. Hopefully. Yeah, he purchased the tote. I teach mine to say, you're not my mom, you're not my dad. Okay, so this is really weird that this came up, and I don't like to make things about me. I mean, I like to make things about me, but I try not to. When I was, 5 or 6, I was really little. I was a petite child. We were in Mexico, and we were at a supermarket. A flea market, and my mom let go of my hand, and she went to go purchase. She was buying like little paper mache clowns for my sister, and she was all into choosing which one she wanted. And she grabbed my hand and she started walking, and I could feel her pulling me a little bit faster than normal. And I looked up, and it wasn't my mom. I was in Mexico, and it wasn't my mom. It was like, in Mexico we call them indias. It was like a India lady. Like, she looked more native, and she was like from that town, because the town where you go to the flea market, it's an actual like flea market town. And she looked like she was from there, and she literally grabbed my hand and started walking me away. And I know Spanish. I looked at her and told her, "Tú no eres mi mamá." I told her, "You're not my mom." And I let go, and I ran back to my mom. And I swear, my mom didn't even care. She was like, "Oh," and like I ran up to her and I told her what happened. She was like, "Oh, okay." And then later on, when we got to my aunt and uncle's house, she's like, "You can't believe what happened." I'm like, "You didn't give me any affection. I was scared crapless." She was just like, "Oh, okay, well, you're back here." But a lady grabbed my hand and walked away. So, as a child, you do know. But this was technically his like stepmom, right? His dad's fiance. They had been together for some time. So, I don't know. He was her ex. Yep. So the last day that Samuel was seen alive by somebody outside of the family was at school on the 29th of May. And his grandmother says that she showed cops and reporters pictures of him that were timestamped on the 2nd of May. So, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, let's see. I won't stop no more. What else can I do? I'm blocked. I show support. Where are you blocked from? Where are you blocked from, Lisa? John, where are you blocked from? Was he here? You blocked from here? Tell me. Am I missing something? Where are you blocked from? Hey, Jackie K, how are you? John, what's up? Oh, you're fine. There's so many dates. John, what's going on? I'm worried. Let me know. Lisa, what's going on? So it was May 29th that she said she last, I'm sorry, that the school said that they last saw him. Did I say April? I'm sorry. Oh, John, I'm sorry about that. Okay. Whew. Woohoo! That gave me a sweat. Like, see, I've always wondered like why people like people are like, "What's going on?" and they freak out and they're looking and stuff. Now I get it. I totally get it. I was like, "Oh no." Let's have a drink. Cheers. We're all good here. Oops, sorry. Did I say me? Wait, hold on. Stop confusing me. Yes, we are in June. So this was April 29th was sorry. April 29th was the last time April 29th was the last time Samuel was seen at school. And May 2nd is the last time his grandma said he saw him. And then May 27th is when they reported him missing. I should just pull up a timeline whenever I'm talking and like have it up there. That's what really I should do. Like instead of just this picture of Samuel. So I'm going to go ahead and play this part. This is where she says it. Let's see.
He was a bubbly boy who never made it to his 6th birthday. And according to court documents, this woman was more of a he said, she said. Teresa Balboa had something to do with it. A woman who at first told police she had seen Samuel as late as last week, but a neighbor who lived across the street from Samuel's father and who was a teacher at Samuel's school told police something different.
Since the school wasn't open, my sister called the principal and was like, hey, when was this little boy last at school? Which was, I guess, the April 30th.
And after further investigation, police found out more. According to court documents, on May 10th, Balboa told her roommate, Benjamin Rivera, who she lived with in this Webster apartment, that Samuel was dead. Rivera went inside the apartment and saw his corpse on the bed. There was bruising on his body. The document went on to reveal that Rivera stated that he and Balboa placed Samuel's corpse in a bathtub where he remained for 2 days. Rivera told investigators he purchased duct tape in a plastic tote on May 13th from Walmart, eventually driving the body to a storage unit in Webster. According to these documents, Balboa then called another friend who helped remove Samuel's body from Webster to this motel in Jasper, where police later found his body. According to investigators, he was wrapped in plastic bags and secured with duct tape inside a tote bag.
Newly filed court documents in Harris County are shedding new details on what happened in the days and weeks leading up to that horrific discovery in room 106 of this Jasper motel. Teresa Balboa is charged with a felony, tampering, fabricating physical evidence. That evidence, Houston police say, a human corpse tampered with at Balboa's Webster apartment. Police say surveillance video proved Balboa's story that Samuel Olson's mom took the child May 27th was false. Court documents instead claim that Balboa called her roommate May the 10th and told him Olson was dead. That roommate allegedly came home, saw Olson unresponsive on the bed with bruising, and put the body in a bathtub with Balboa's help. 3 days later, May 13th, court documents say that roommate bought duct tape and a plastic tote, put Olson's body inside, then drove the body to a storage unit in Webster. Around 5:30 this past Tuesday afternoon, Jasper police got a Crime Stoppers tip that Balboa was at that motel, possibly with Olson. Court documents say officers were sent there 5 minutes later, got inside with the manager's help after no one answered the door, and found Balboa in the bathroom and the child's remains inside a secured tote. Houston police say surveillance video from 3:30 earlier that morning shows a pickup arrive with the tote in the bed of the truck. It also allegedly shows the driver check in, then enter room 106 with a woman. Around 6 a.m., video allegedly shows the man move the tote inside that room before driving away.
Did it show the part with the babysitter? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry, John. We'll fix it, I promise. So that was what I had to say about the Samuel Olson case, that the mother has spoken out and said that she did file for, to try to get her son back, and that there were different, what are they, like the people, like the servers, the process servers, like more than one, that tried to deliver things to him and they couldn't because he had changed addresses. So that was an issue with trying to find him, because clearly you have to reach them to be able to to serve them with court documents. So I thought that was pretty messed up that she was actually able to prove that. And, we could take that off the table, that she was somewhat trying to get her son back, despite the fact that, by all appearances, she hadn't seen him in a year and it looks really bad. Allegedly, really. Yes, this is when I can do them. So let's see. Criminal imagination. This case is the case that the dates are like for me. These totes make me think of the Joel guy. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So then I'm going to read one more thing and then I'm done with that, and I will move on to the Darian updates, the Darian Brown updates. So when officers arrived to question Sarah Olson after Balboa and Dalton Olson said she had taken the child, the mom showed them surveillance camera videos showing that she had never left her house that day. So she did say that. She didn't even know he was gone until they accused her of kidnapping him. And then the mother did not know her former husband had filed for a restraining order against Balboa or that his girlfriend was caring for Samuel. Allred began searching court documents in the custody case of Sarah Olson and contacted her. She said, I only got involved because I thought I could get him returned to his mother and everything would be fine. It is a crazy case every single day. You're on a roller coaster of emotions. Some of the more confounding documents in the custody case, she said, was a motion from Dalton Olson filed on May 28th that he reported which was the day after he reported Samuel missing. According to the court documents, the father was seeking an emergency declaration granting him sole custody of Samuel, and this is according to Olson. This is according to Olson being an unfit mother. The filing included sworn affidavits from Dalton Olson and Teresa Balboa saying Sarah Olson had taken the child on May 27th. So, Teresa, this horrible, horrible person, which I want to say a lot more, hey, what's up, went ahead and told, in efforts to try to get full custody of this little boy she had already killed, she went and made a statement against his mom. And this is after she had told police that it was definitely his mom, said that she had seen her and could identify her with her tattoos and everything. So this chick is twisted, and obviously it was one of those things where she was jealous of the baby mama, the ex-wife, and she couldn't get over it because even after she did all of this, she was still being a horrible, horrible person trying to get her in trouble or trying to pawn off her story. That's ridiculous. Yes, so the filings included sworn affidavits from Dalton and Teresa saying that Sarah Olson had taken the child on May 27th. Sam Olson and I went into the backyard to feed my 2 dogs. While Samuel Olson and I walked back to my car, we saw Sarah Olson and a police officer standing in the driveway. Sarah Olson pointed at Samuel and myself, saying, "That's my son," and she took him. Balboa said in the handwritten statement, "The officers told me I needed to release Samuel Olson to Sarah Olson or I would go to jail because I have no legal rights to Samuel Olson." So that's what she was telling the police. The affidavit went on to describe what Samuel was supposedly wearing and what Sarah Olson was supposedly wearing. At one point, Samuel Olson had already been dead for 18 days. Balboa's roommate would later tell investigators. In his handwritten affidavit, Dalton Olson said Teresa Balboa and Samuel Olson were coming out of the backyard, and there was Sarah Olson with an officer in the driveway. The officer demanded Teresa to turn Samuel over to him or she would go to jail, and then Teresa complied with the officer. Sure, Teresa, we all believe you. Good night, Nicole Morgan. I'm so sorry. I will I'll message you the report from what I was about to show on Darian Brown, so you don't feel like you missed it. Just wait for me to do it in the morning, because I will get off here pretty late. Okay, so Teresa Balboa is a twisted witch, which we already know. The 18 days after she had killed this baby, put him in a bathtub, left him there, put him in a tote, took him to a storage unit, and then went on to live on with her life. So I'm not saying proof or anything, but on Facebook there was a few people that actually provided proof that they knew her, and one of the girls that was trying to provide proof, I'm not sure if she actually did, but I believed her, was saying that Teresa was her friend and that she had called her at some point in the time that Samuel was missing, complaining about her relationship with Benjamin. So she was with Samuel's dad and calling her friend to complain about Benjamin. So this girl was completely twisted. So she had her boyfriend's son with her. She killed him, and then she said that the mom kidnapped him, went on to tell police that it was the mom, that she saw her, could identify her, and then went to still try to get custody of this little boy, try to get the guy to get custody of him. And he had been dead for 18 days, and it was because of her. Trying to say that the mom was an unfit mother. The next day, that's just the most twisted thing I've ever heard. When I read that, I was like, I have to go live over this. This was earlier. And then I didn't, and then I was like, okay, you know what? That made me mad enough the first time that I should have just done it then. Because right now I don't even feel like I have the fire that I had earlier when thinking about that stuff. Like, this lady is absolutely freaking crazy. And everybody's saying, like, she reminds me of Letitia Sanchez. Yeah, she does. She really does. She's absolutely nuts. She's going to try to defend herself in court. Hey, Caroline. She's going to try to defend herself in court. She's going to then fire herself. And she's going to do all these crazy things. I was livid earlier when I read that. Like, how is she, this poor mom? And now that I know that she actually had several pasta servers try to serve Dalton and she couldn't find him. And this is just, I feel so bad for Sarah Olson. I really, really do. And I still, I will apologize to you guys later if later on I find that Samuel Olson had more to do with it. But as of right now, I think Teresa just had him brainwashed. I think she really did. John says, oh, John, I'm sorry. You love it. Hey, Caroline D, how are you? So I'm going to drop this off right here and then pull up an article about Darian Brown that came out today. And of course, in this article, it says more disturbing things about what's going on in the Cash Gernon case. So, bear with me with that, guys. If these things make you upset, I'm really sorry. But this is going to be a little bit of what happened to him after this incident that we know about with Darian Brown. So let me go ahead and pull it up. And then after that, I'm going to show you a few things that I find weird. And this happens in a lot of cases that I follow, where you find something, you're like, how did this person know about this beforehand? And I have some of that stuff that I will bring up to show that, like, it's one of those cases where you're just like, how were they to know that this was going to happen? Let's see. So here he is with his twin brother. And I hope, just as much as we see justice for Cash, I hope that something really good happens to Carter. I hope he gets placed with either a really good family or he goes back to an original family that really wants him and loves him and will get him all the love that he needs to get him through this, because this is really sad. And he will remember his brother. That's what's crazy and sad. Crazy sad. So, and then this is going to be what we've found out in the last 2 days about Darian Brown. I hadn't done a video on it, so this is just my easier way of doing it. Drama Reupload says, yeah, she does. And if you look at her pictures, because I have a lot of them, she declined a lot in the past year. And of course, that's something that happens to these people when they do this stuff, when they do drugs and they do them fast and hard, their faces just absolutely fall. Just, they get so bad. Like, those mugshot things, like those mugshot, like before and afters, when you're just like, really? There's only like 3 years in between. Yeah. Pick a certain drug that's just, yeah, that will happen to you. Let's see. Hey, Sweet Piggy, how are you? Oh, Lisa, have a good day. Tell Bonnie I said hi. All right, so I'm going to pull up this article again. Oh, let me pull. Hi, Jackie. Pull this up. Okay. So, according to court documents, the man accused of killing 4-year-old Cash Gernon last month had the boy's blood on his hoodie, shoes, and sunglasses. Information obtained from NBC5 from an arrest warrant affidavit released on Friday said police confiscated several items for the residence of 18-year-old Darian Ronell Brown on May 15th and had them tested at the Southwest Institute of Forensic Sciences in Dallas. According to the affidavit, lab tests confirmed that the blood found in the 3 items, the hoodie, the shoes, and the sunglasses, were a match for the young boy. GERNON was recorded on surveillance video inside of the room being taken from his crib at 4:52 a.m. on May 15th by a man resident at the home identified to police as Brown. A man known to the family who residents said did not have consent to be in the home or to take the child. Police said Brown then carried the boy to a public walking trail on the 8900 block of OLSON Lane, where he stabbed him multiple times in the torso with an unknown object. About 2 hours after he was taken, the boy's lifeless body was found laying in the 7500 block of Saddle Ridge Drive by a person out for a morning walk. After seeing the surveillance video from inside the home, police arrested Brown on May 15th and charged him with kidnapping and burglary. On Thursday, when the forensic evidence was returned from the lab, the capital murder charge was added. So far, officials have not revealed a motive for the boy's murder. If found guilty, capital punishment in Texas carries an automatic life sentence or death penalty. The punishment sought is determined by prosecutors before the trial begins. NBC5 reached out to the Heath Harrison, Brown's attorney, on Thursday after the capital murder charge was announced, and Harrison and Brown said that he was not guilty of the boy's murder. Brown is currently being held in the Dallas County Jail on a $6 million bond, so $6,625,000 bond, which is okay with me. If all of what is said is true, that is okay with me. So this makes so much sense as the crime scene that we've seen, the things that we know about Brown that we do know. He was wearing an Adidas hoodie, clearly. That was his hoodie that they found in his home with Cash's blood on it. They found Cash's blood on his hoodie. They found sunglasses with blood. They found this evidence that tied him to the scene. It was him. So, despite the fact that some people may think that it was somebody else in the video, I haven't. I've always thought it was him, but I think that there was somebody else there. I don't know who it is. I'm definitely not saying that it's the people in the home. I think they were neglectful and all that stuff, but I'm not sure if it was them. I think he had a co-conspirator. Who it was, I don't know, and I don't know if they helped him do this, but I definitely know that he had a buddy with him. There was somebody there, I think, allegedly, my opinion. Why does my brain go into planting it? For sure, right? Oh, man. Oh, girl. Don't, no. Stop it. Don't talk like that. Dang it. So what do you make of the video that Monica put out recently? Okay. I think that video made Monica look like she was still under the influence, possibly. But to me, it made her look innocent. I don't know. She did bring up Darian Brown, and she said that she knew that that the DNA would come back as his, which led me to believe that she knew that evidence was found and that they were going to test it, that the evidence was DNA and that they were going to test it. So she said this before the news came out. So I knew that it was DNA found that they had used. Obviously, right? I guess. But they did just say that they had evidence of him being at the scene. So now, there's DNA. So we know that. She does look bonkers and she does look ridiculous, but I don't know. I just think she looks hi. They all look high, but that's just allegedly. Some people they stay up after people do drugs. Sometimes they don't recover. They really don't. So that's just how weird of a person she is, I think. I don't know. I really don't think, but obviously when things come out, that I can be wrong, Dawn Keller. You obviously know that I can be wrong. She lied in the video, though. She said she hadn't left the house since they took Cash, but the balloon drop in the ASPCA, yes, she did, Dawn Cobb. She did say that, and I did catch that. Crap. Now you guys make me look bad. I don't know. I just don't think that they were in on it. I think they're dumbs, but no. That one person, not one person, true, sincere accountability. Maybe just the lady that found him. John. what's the real mother like? There's not a lot being said about her. I know Facebook rumors, but aside from rumors, I know nothing about her. Nothing. I don't even know her job verified. And Facebook rumors are saying that she's a trucker and that, she's always had issues with, drugs and stuff, but I don't know. I could be, like that could be here or there. Has anybody elaborated on a motive? Anyone involved? And I want to say that with with him being just brutally killed and then left there on the street, that the only motive was to be, there was no motive. I don't think there was a motive aside from, depending on what they find happened to him while he was out there. And yes, I am alluding to SA. I think, to me, that always felt like it was going to be the motive for me. But since they haven't said it, we really don't know. Let's see. So I pulled up all the documents I have on, not all the documents I have, but I pulled up some documents that I had that I felt were a little bit important. Let's see. Stop screen. Share screen. And some of them were just some things that came out on Facebook early on, but one of them was something that a lot of people were taking credence to, like a lot of people were believing it. So they had, initially, they really did like follow what some of this said. So do you guys remember in the beginning they were saying that he was SA'd and all this stuff, and it turned out to not be real? There was like this fake press release given out by like this fake, it came out from a fake Dallas department or something. It was really just a fake thing written up on Facebook, and I had a whole bunch of details of what happened. It didn't make anybody look good, but now that I look back, it said some factual things. So I find that to be very weird. And I hope this actually shows. Okay, since I just uploaded it, it might still be in like SD, because when you first upload something, it will first show it. Oh, that didn't work out. Touchscreen. So I guess what I will do is read them to you guys, and you guys could just look at them like picture pages. Okay, so this was Kurt Pinkerton's. This was a post by Kurt Pinkerton, which is Monica's dad, and this is one of the first things that I saw in this case, and it was just something that made me say, what is going on here? And along with the GoFundMe was really what drew me in to this whole case. The GoFundMe is what got me started. So just so you know, what gets my ticker going in a case sometimes. Let's see. The bio mom. Yeah, that's what's so hard to find out. And, she hasn't really spoken out. Yes, the Don Cobb, that assistant deputy chief one that turned out to be fake. Because there really was a fake, like, press release put out, which is really ridiculous. Really ridiculous. So this by Kurt says, Cash and Carter are two little boys our daughter Monica has been taking care of since they were left with her a few weeks ago by a parent who dipped out. For Cash, 4 years old, he was abducted from their home yesterday in South Dallas, taken away from their home, raped, beaten, and stabbed to death. They caught the 18-year-old kid who did it and is behind bars, and he won't see you very many more days, I'm sure. Cash now live in heaven. You will not have to worry about being abandoned no more. So that, needless to say, is what, yes, he is. That, needless to say, is what grabbed my attention. I'm like, wait, what is going on? Oh, let's see. What is Blonde saying? Amanda, have you seen Derry Brown's answering at all the jail? Could you? I have seen it, and I haven't tried to, but I will if you want me to. I did see it, but I didn't listen to it. I didn't catch it right away. Is it weird he used a pic of the real mom? Criminal Imagination, that he used a pic of the real mom where? In the GoFundMe? She didn't see her twin. Yes. She didn't see her twin 4-year-old for 2 months. It was way longer than that. She didn't see her twin 4-year-old, her twin 2-year-olds for. I think he had them before he moved in February. I'm pretty sure the dad had already taken them before that. Don Keller, it was during his intake, you could hear him answering basic questions, but it was so hard to hear him. Yes. What's up, Dave? So Dave G is telling me to check my messenger. Yes, Dave, I know. I think he did too. So Dave is under the same belief that I am, that they're saying Darian carried Cash from the woods to where he was found. I, for some reason, feel like he may have taken himself there, but I don't know. And I think that those pressure mark, that the cleaning of the floor, people are saying, well, maybe they were just cleaning blood and taking it into a straight line to the gutter. And I'm like, yeah, maybe, but I don't know. I have questions. Did I see the dad has been arrested? Did I see where the dad is arrested now? He was arrested. I did a report on it. I did like an 11-second video, so I'll play it. Okay, let me find that video and I'll play it real quick because it's just an audio. It's basically just an audio and a picture of him. Nope, that's not it. Okay, here it goes.
Everybody, just a quick update. Looks like Trevor GERNON, Cash's dad, has been arrested. I hope this helps out with Carter's life, and
I guess I didn't say it. I guess I didn't give it very many details. Let's see, but it says it. I have the news article. So he was stopped on June 10th, 2021 in Houston. So he was in Houston, not too far from Dallas. So, I mean, he could have gone to see his kids, right? So I'm going to keep, I'm going to read this to you guys. So, I already read it to you. So I'm going to go to the next one. So this was Kurt Pinkerton's thing. And so that was what he put out right away. So right away, we're like, this little boy was SA'd? What? He was taken out to the woods and stabbed? What? Like, what? Did you see that? Oh, no, that wasn't it. Oh, I'll show you where it says that. But somebody did say that beforehand. Okay, so it says, this is one of the first things that I saw. One of the first things that I was like, wait a second, what's going on? So this is Kurt's wife, Leslie, who would be Monica's mom. And she had a GoFundMe that said, please help my daughter during the loss of my grandbaby. And then I only saw this after I had seen comments like, did you see that she's saying that this is her grandson? It's not, so the police can investigate it. Again, I don't know the facts. And they said, that they're going to report the GoFundMe. I'm like, yeah, me too. So right here, I didn't want to make it long so I could upload it, but now it's working against me. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. With a heavy heart and the permission of Cash's stepmom, Monica, I am making this GoFundMe account to help his family with the cost of funeral, headstone, and counseling. My name is Sarah Nelson. My daughter is friends with Cash's sister, Emily. None of the money donated will come to me. It will go straight from the GoFundMe site to Monica. If you see another GoFundMe page in honor of Cash's name, please reach out to the family to confirm before donating to that page. I don't think anyone could ever expect to bury their child. It's not the way it's supposed to be, especially not a parent burying their 4-year-old baby. That's what Monica and Chance have to do. She got the name wrong. And Chance had to do because their baby boy Cash was murdered on Saturday, May 15, 2021. This friend later took down this GoFundMe and said she didn't know Monica that well, and that when she found out she wasn't the mom, that she took it down. So Monica had told her, Monica had told her that, that she was the mom and she was going to have to pay for her son's funeral and he was her baby and all of this stuff. And she was literally saying that Cash's sister, she was friends with Cash's sister's friend. Cash had sisters, but Monica didn't even know them. So Criminal Imagination says, so that doesn't make sense. You think that the Kurt post was BS and Emily and Cash being a brother and sister, all the weirdness entangling them, if that makes sense. Yeah, they were definitely putting themselves in there, making themselves out to be the family. And a lot of people say that could be, a lot of people say that could be because thank you, they wanted to involve themselves and get money. I don't know why. I have questions on that one. This is the second GoFundMe description, Criminal Imagination. So the other one that I showed you was the first, and this is the second, I think. Pretty sure that's how it went, because there was 3. I'm pretty sure. Or no. Oh no, you're right. This is the first one, because there was 2. I think I have the picture of the other one as well. So this is what we first knew about his dad, so that he had been arrested in 2019. This almost looks like exactly like the same article that I pulled up yesterday for his arrest yesterday. So I even had to look at it twice, like, wait, what? So this one says, on March 20th, 2019, a deputy with Constable Mark Herman's office initiated a traffic stop on a vehicle in the 6000 block of North Sam Houston Parkway, and the driver was identified as Trevor GERNON. During the course of the traffic stop, it was discovered that the vehicle was stolen, and the vehicle was released to the owner. What is that? Does that even make sense? Trevor GERNON was released and booked into the Harris County Jail with unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. His bond and court information have not been released at this time. So he was pulled over. They found out the car was stolen, and then before he went to jail, they gave the car back to the owner. So did the car owner, was he there? Or were they following them, or did they call them or something? How did that happen? All right. Am I missing anything? Can somebody give me big stars if I'm missing anything? So, let's see. This is freaking weird, and it's so bizarre. It is. And there was a lot of greed, and there still is, but I'm not saying that makes people guilty. People do weird things. John said, don't encourage me later. I wonder where they were that dumb to think that people would think that he had been hit by a car. I think that too, but they returned the stolen car. But so fast, they just give it right back. I think that he was trying to be displayed, or I think maybe he got caught and left him there. I don't even know the answer to that. I can't even put myself in that mindset. That was the weird part about the story, that we thought he had first been hit by a car. Massage made her look like a real nasty woman to me. Yeah, mine too. If I understand it correctly, Monica got the GoFundMe monies and pretended to be the mom, allegedly. Yes, she did. And I have more of that to come in the next text. They will call the owner unless they believe the car was committing another crime. Oh, I see. Okay. But how do they get their number? Just kidding. What a stand-up dad. Wow, poor little ones. For sure. Okay, so. And then this next one was, you're not going to be able to see it, but I can read it to you guys. Because, not more reading, Amanda. So. Let's see. This one is this is that fake press release that I was telling you guys about, and it came out on Facebook, and I know a lot of you saw it, and then if a lot of you didn't see it, a lot of you guys heard info on it, because a lot of people were taking info from this like it was facts, because it looked like facts, and I definitely did. So, I definitely heard it, and I believe some of the things, but I wouldn't say them out loud, because I knew that it was going to be fake, and I told everybody that it wasn't going to be real. As crazy, and then it turned out to not be real, but in the moment, it seemed like, what the hell is going on here? But when you read it, you're like, the cops wouldn't release this stuff. So this says, Dallas Police Department, Albert Martinez. There has been an arrest and the death of a 4-year-old recently found dead in the street, and an investigation is ongoing. The suspect, who has a history of mental health and drug use related issues, has not been charged with the murder and has only preliminary kidnapping charges at this time. No cause of death has been determined. If the medical examiner concludes there was foul play or child molestation, we will add additional charges after those forensic results. However, it has come to our attention that the mother of the child has been giving a completely fabricated version of events to the media and local news outlet recently. The mother, who we will only refer to as Monica at this time, claimed that her son was randomly kidnapped in the middle of the night after the suspect broke into her home, and she claimed she saw surveillance of him that proved the story. But this is not accurate, and the mom never once called police making that accusation and didn't file any missing police reports. Now, let me just say again that this was something written up that was said to the police that not be real. For 2 whole days, the mom stayed silent and never once called the police or reported him as missing. So that's why no Amber Alert was sent out. Most parents would immediately call the police if a stranger broke into their home and kidnapped their child, but this mother did not. The mom and the suspect did indeed have a relationship, and according to the neighbors, he was there all the time and had also been living in the home with the family on and off. At this point, we do not yet know what the mother and the suspect were involved with. The mom is not a credible person and has a lengthy criminal history herself and has prior Facebook posts with doctored photos referring to herself as a proud gang leader and armed robber. That turned out to be a mocked-up picture of her from a Facebook game. And I know because I used to play that game. I'm so ashamed. Okay. The mom is not a credible person, has lengthy criminal history, and the Facebook was, Prior to this incident, the 4-year-old victim's twin brother was taken away by Child Protective Services and is in state custody. According to tips and interviews we have gotten from the neighbors, the mom was often doing or strung out on drugs, and she was letting the suspect molest the child in exchange for illegal narcotics and room and board. Based on our preliminary hearings, the most likely scenario at this point is that the suspect conspired to kill the child after or out of fear CPS would find out about the abuse and be criminally charged. But the plan went wrong because the suspect couldn't control himself and he essayed the child prior to killing him in the woods. The mom might have been in on it, but right now we don't have enough evidence to charge the mother as of yet. The FBI has secured a search warrant for the home and we have been canvassing the area for evidence all weekend. Monica has informed authorities that she will no longer talk to us about her son's death without a lawyer present. So we read this like in the beginning and we were like, what the hell? The police released this? Hey, crazy. She can't stay. She's at work. Work, girl, work. She's a working mom. And she still does everything that I do. And she still works. And she's still a mom. And she is still a girlfriend and does everything. So everybody give it up to Crazy. She works really hard. She really does. And she's actually the one that gave me the heads up that there was something new going on with the Jerry and Brown case. Because I woke up today and I had no idea. And then I saw Crazy's video and I was like, oh, they found out that stuff. So Crazy's on it, guys. She really is. So if you guys haven't seen her video today about the items that they found at Darian Brown's home, she did a video earlier and I'll link you later. So yes. So this was one of the first things that we saw on Facebook. This came out really early on and we were like, what is this? Would the police really release that? That's kind of crazy. I mean, I didn't think that the cops would release stuff like that, but they didn't. It was fake. But the information in it was crazy because it says that the subject broke into her house. Let's see, what does it say? It says, but the plan went wrong because the suspect couldn't control himself and essayed the child prior to killing him in the woods. And that's what happened. So I don't know if anybody's ever heard, but I had been saying this whole time, I was like, I do think that he was killed in the woods. And he was. But this says it. So who wrote this? Really, like, you guys should see my head right now. It's like shaking. Like, so who wrote this? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Who knew that? Who knew all this information? How did Kurt know all this information? Like, how do these people all know this stuff? I mean, this is just like some inside scoop that they just all got. Did they get a memo? I want it. And so, Cash and his brother. So this is the map of where Cash was found right here. This is where Monica's house is. And there's 2 little forests. So it could have been this one. I guess there's this one too, sorry. This one or this one. We're going to want to think that it was this one, right? Because he was found over here. So he carried him this way. Would that be consistent with the drag marks? I mean, not the drag marks, the pressure washing thing, or do you think it would be right here? Like, what way do you think he went? So Blonde BD says, my daughter has primary custody of my granddaughter and is in an adversarial relationship with her dad. So after he was 8 hours late dropping her off, I was on the phone with the police. Absolutely. As you should be. Crazy lady, they have not said that. 8 blocks. Yeah. Where's Monica? At home. Where's Monica's what? Yeah, but Monica's at home. She's. Oh, where's Monica's house? Let me show you. All right, so this is. Oops. This is Monica's house right here. Right here. And then this is where they found him. And then Brown's house was on the same street. So I'm pretty sure that's where he was. He lived on the same street as them. So I need to actually pull that up and put that onto the map as well, because now we know that his house is a crime scene as well. So this leads me to the next things that I'm going to show that this was a big controversy. People were saying they found a lot of the evidence at Brown's house, and they were trying to say that they found this evidence and this evidence. But right now we know what they found at Brown's house. So now when people say, but you don't know if they found that at Brown's house. No. Now we know what they found at Brown's house. Here it is. And everything else was found at Monica's. Because Monica's house was, now we know, a cleanup site. If there was blood there, he went back there and he cleaned up there and there was blood there. So we know that. So this was something that I had found when doing like the Facebook sleuthing early on, before I even did a video. I didn't do a video for this case pretty early at all in the beginning. But this is a picture of Trevor GERNON with his girlfriend in October of 2020. So by February of 2021 is when he was supposedly dating Monica and left the babies with her. He moves on fast, but I mean, it's a big change. Big change in girlfriends, big change in life activity. It looks normal right here, and in his mugshot he looks awful. And to have left his kids with somebody that he didn't really know is super awful too. And the date is just, it's literally like 5 months. In 5 months. So I don't know. He does, but hey, everybody must get strong. Yes, technically it was an anonymous writer. We don't know who wrote it. Criminal Imagination. We don't. And I think it's odd that whoever wrote it knew so much and then didn't get caught. I don't know. Do you think they know who did it? Let's see. I can't figure out why he would place him in the street versus just leaving him in the woods. He wanted him on display, I guess. That's what I said earlier. I think he wanted to display him, and that's just what weird people do. Lots of killers, and he is a killer, right? Lots of killers display their victims. They're trophies to them in a weird, weird way. Yeah, it is. You're right, Criminal Imagination. Thanks, John. I didn't see it, but I know what you're saying. And he's out partying on Halloween. Yeah, he should be with his kids on Halloween, right? Let's not judge people, but let's judge you right there. Halloween is the kids' holiday. Why are you wearing an outfit? Go out with your kids. But, maybe they had already gone out that night. Who knows, or whatever. So, great live, Amanda. They're getting longer. John, it's for you. You're the one who told me to go longer. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and keep playing. I thought that was kind of peculiar. Like, what a downgrade. Sorry, Monica. And then, not just that, but it was only 5 months later. Like, I'm not judging him for moving on fast. I just think that was a big, big change. I wouldn't introduce my kids that fast, much less leave them with somebody that fast. Definitely not. No way. You would never catch me doing that. So I'm waiting for my video to play over here so I can read this one to you. So this says, the picture posted above is the youngster who was charged with kidnapping The picture posted of the youngster who was charged with kidnapping 4-year-old person is the same person who broke into my home February 2021. The picture of the youngster that has been terrorizing people in the neighborhood is the same person who broke into my home while I was present and tried to kidnap my granddaughter and assaulted me. February 2021, he came from the same address near my home. So he's saying he came from Monica's. The police response was sadly very late, but I survived it. Councilman Thomas was made aware of it as well as the Southwest Substation Commander, Weddington, who has not called me back yet. The home invasion has left me bewildered about. Dallas Police Department and the disappointed about the adults and the are very disappointed. He misspelled disappointed. Okay, I'm just trying to read it. I'm very disappointed about the adults and occupants of that house where the suspect came from. The police officers totally mishandled the call during my assault/kidnapping and had called 911 several times during the assault and was put on hold several times. It was only by the grace of God that no one was killed and that my granddaughter, who was disabled, sister-in-law, and myself survived the ordeal. I saw the current suspect, his mother, at Walmart several weeks later. And then this is, if you've kept up with this, this is where they say that Monica ran into this guy and basically apologized on Darian's behalf and said that she was going to be taking him in, that he was a troubled youth, and that she was sorry and to not press charges. We don't know 100% the validity of it, but I believe it. I do. I really do. I believe it. I was going to say his story changed a lot, but I think it was just kind of the way it was reported. But I do believe him now. And not just that, he was quick to put it out. Let's see. John says, Amanda, I appreciate every second of your lives, and you're an awesome channel creator. Thank you. Amanda Stoll, I probably would have never noticed except hearing Amanda S. say your name out loud. Then I went back and read it. I was like, yep, I totally had it wrong earlier. Had what wrong earlier? Sorry. It's so hard to keep up. Meth causes blindness, apparently. Meth causes a lot of things. Hallucinations, everything. And I really do think that a lot of this stuff a lot of these cases that are going on right now, I feel like we're just throwing out meth like people throw out the narcissist thing. Like, they're on meth, they're on meth, they're on meth. She's a narcissist, he's a narcissist, they're a narcissist. Like, they're all on meth and narcissists. Just keep narcissists away from meth, please. Not to even laugh about it, but it's kind of funny, right? Hey, Nellie, how are you? Welcome to my channel. Okay, so it says that not only that, but his granddaughter and them were survived the ordeal. So one other thing that I had heard was that this was actually Darian Brown's ex-girlfriend's home that he had broken into, and that he was looking for her. And then when he couldn't find her is when he grabbed the little girl. So that was left out of this. Obviously, he probably wasn't going to put it on Facebook. Like, hey, my granddaughter was dating the crazy man, or my daughter was dating the crazy man who tried to break in, but it was his girlfriend's house. Thank you, Hard Eyes. How are you? And Cam, hi. Okay, so, yeah. And then this is that picture of, I think I cut it off. Sorry, guys. This is that picture of Darian Brown where he's holding the hammer. Can you see that? Are you able to see him right here? He's right there. I think when I make it big, you can't see it. Oh, there it is. Haha. Just kidding. You could have seen it the whole time. Oh, my banner's going over it. When I look at it on StreamYard, I see. And Kev, seriously. I'm like, I think they're on meth. And then I'm like, gosh, I can't be accusing everybody thinking they're on meth. Hey, Angie, how are you? Angie Wivey. Yeah, the covert narcissist thing is definitely a buzzword right now. Yeah. And not just that. Have you ever Googled covert narcissist? I don't even want to Google it anymore. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a covert narcissist. So, if anybody wants to say it in the future, be like, no, go back. Amanda called herself a covert narcissist. She's Googled it, and she fits all the characteristics. So Don Cobb says, regardless of the grandpa pressing charges, the police can press charges, period. Especially if he was attempting to kidnap. Yes, they can, but they didn't. Amanda puts, no, I do not. Yeah. But okay, so it's common. So in these comments, in the comment section right here, it says, if this vandal is identified, oh, okay, so this is his post in the community post. He didn't post this, this is, the one that I read before was his post after Cash died. this is what he posted in the community posts before Cash died. So he had posted it. He had posted a picture of Darian Brown terrorizing the neighborhood, and then there was comments, right? It's okay, John. My daddy said it's natural, or it's organic. Don't panic. Okay, or don't panic. It's organic. So it says if this vandal is identified, then maybe a class action lawsuit against him or his parents for damages. And it says 3 nights in a row, this kid has terrorized the woods. He will not be caught unless we band together to let the cops know where he is at. He has caused a lot of damage and it's slowly escalating. And someone else wrote, "Wow, the nerve of people, no regard or anything or anybody." And then they said, "We as a community need to contact our council members repeatedly. There needs to be more police officers hired in the city. The young man needs to be caught. So show his picture to other kids or someone knows this little crook." So people were talking about him. They were saying this kid was out terrorizing the neighborhood, terrorizing the woods, like kicking it in the woods. That's what I take that as. He was hanging out in the woods. What was he doing over there? Killing kids. That's what he did over there. So these are a few pictures that I got of Cash that I don't really see a lot, but they're so cute. This is actually like a banner that his grandma had. And then, yeah, it's okay. Okay, and then this is where I was trying to prove, my point that now we know that everything that was found in the home, I'm sorry, now we know everything that was found in his home. So now we know that everything that was found previously was in Monica's home for sure. Because people would be like, "Oh, you don't know." Like, now I do know, and I wasn't wrong. So there was a bloody towel found in Monica's home, which lets me know that Brown went back there. He went back to the house and he cleaned up there. Obviously, we knew he was there, but he cleaned up there. And I think that this mark and another one on the door was a blood mark. And then not just that, this is the police affidavit with the evidence that they found at the home. And then this is what they were going to search for. And in here, it says that they found a knife, a napkin. This is going to be obviously the front of the home. I found blood drops on this window, which, is unexplainable. I don't know why it's there, but it's there. And this is where they had the rug. And then this is going to be the back window where I feel somebody was standing. So I see somebody standing right there. I see something reflecting right there. And I don't think it was a backpack. I don't think it was a back window. I don't think it was a car. I don't think it was the camera. I think there was somebody standing there. And I don't know what they were doing. I don't know if that light's like an actual camera recording, but I still think that there was somebody out there. And then there was, obviously, I have played my video over and over of the door slamming because I think somebody was in the room the morning of. This is also a charge of what they found in Darian Brown's home after he was arrested. They found a stolen gun that was recovered, and it belongs to a police officer. So we don't know about that. Then obviously this was what was on that police search warrant affidavit. The gesture in the bathroom that had blood droplets on it, and then a small pocket knife. So they're saying that they don't know what Cash was stabbed with, but I have a feeling that they're just saying that, but it was the small pocket knife. I mean, it only makes sense, right? And then of course, him saying that it wasn't him. He didn't do it. I didn't do nothing. He says he didn't do nothing. But now we know that he was terrorizing his neighborhood. He did all of this. But I had questions about this one today the most. Now that we know that he was taken into the woods and killed there, for sure, and then taken out to the street and left there, whoever wrote this fake police, that wasn't it. Whoever wrote that fake police thing knew that he was killed in the woods. And how would they have known that? It could have been a good guess. But I thought that was really odd. And that was one of the things that caught my interest when I read that he was killed in the woods. That was the first thing that I thought of. I was like, whoa, they wrote that in that thing. That's really weird. Yeah, that's really, yeah. So NCAM says, so weird that the knife would just be chilling so openly in the house. Right. And then next to a napkin. I'm assuming it was next to the napkin with blood because that's why they grabbed it. And he is whispering, talking to somebody too, for sure. But yeah, that's all I had for you guys tonight. But I really wanted to come on earlier and do the Samuel Olson stuff. Basically, let out everything about his mom. His mom was trying to get him. She had no idea that Teresa was watching her son. She didn't know that Teresa had a restraining order against her by Dalton. So, I'm not saying give her a pass, but let's give her a break. At least for the people in the back. Custody cases are hard, and the people who have been in them only know. And she had a restraining order against her, and I think it just all went against her, and she was trying. He moved a whole bunch of times, so they weren't able to process serve him. They weren't able to serve him, so I feel really bad for her. I really do. And I say that a lot. Okay, I'm sure you guys have heard of that. But thank you all for being here. I know I have been promising a John Benet Ramsey video. I just finished it last night. I didn't want to upload it yet because I didn't polish it. Blonde PT, I kind of do everything. I will stream during the day if something breaks and I'm near a computer and I have the time. But a lot of the times I do go live at night. When I do longer lives, I go live at night. What happened? What happened, Delaney? What happened? But yes, what did I say? What was I talking about? Yes, there was a trail of blood coming out of the woods. That's kind of why they had to clean all, that whole thing. And then in the news, it said that he carried him from the woods to the street. So obviously, he was dripping blood. And then they said they found him in a pile of blood. So, there's blood. Thanks, Hard Eyes. So, I wanted to bring this up, and I wanted her to. Oh no, I already said that. I don't know what I was saying. I forgot. God, I hope I remember. But yeah, I will. I remember now. Oh God, I'm so happy I remember. So John Benet Ramsey. I finished the video yesterday, and I will be uploading it when I polish it up. I just want to make sure I have all the kinks kinked out. What I'm going to be showing is obviously they're all going to be older clipped videos, but it has a really big logo on it. And I've been trying to figure out what to put over that logo. You guys you guys really don't know how much of my mind process goes into these little tiny things. But I'm like, do I put my name over the logo? Do I just make it black? Do I put a picture of John Benet? I don't know. So that was what I was going to finish up today, and then I will be uploading it. But I think this has turned into a series in my head. So I will be doing the John Benet Ramsey case from the beginning to the middle to the end, and it's an open case. It really is. So, I don't know all the answers, so it's kind of going to be interesting and fun. And I say fun because I know people like to deep dive and stuff, and I can't wait to battle it out with people who have different opinions than I do on what happened and on the evidence and stuff. And Dawn already knows. I've been sending Dawn a bunch of stuff already. So Hardy says, yes, it's me. Oh, you're just talking back to your friend. You just subbed. Thank you. Thank you. You don't have the blonde PT. That's what I'm here for. And that's kind of why I started. I jumped onto YouTube one day, and I had heard somebody talking about a case that I knew. And I was like, this person is a representative for this person. I feel like I know more about the case than they do. And another time I jumped on and I talked to Watts, and people were like, wow, you really know your stuff. Like, who'd you get it for? And I was like, nobody. I just learned it for myself. And then I realized that a lot of the things I knew, people were like, people don't know that, or they don't know this. And I'm like, that's really weird. I thought everybody knew it all. And I guess at some point I came to realize that it's not true. Like, people can know about cases, but they won't know these little intricate things that my mind makes me find out when I find out about a case. Like, I will deep dive. I will absolutely deep dive. And that's just because I can absorb. When I have a interest, I can absorb everything about that interest. So I just go in, and I really like it. And I like that I can share it with people, because this is what I'd be doing anyway. But now I just get to talk to you guys instead of talking to myself while I'm on my computer, right? And that's something I've been doing recently, is just jumping in and not knowing what I'm going to read yet. I really like that. It feels like a reveal. I really, really enjoy it. So I thank you guys for even listening to me. I think you guys are awesome. I can't wait to hear your views on it. Amanda, they change all the time. They really do. And not just that, I'm getting older. So now, looking at autopsy stuff, it's different to me. I get freaked out now. It's really weird. So I'm going to go into it gently, and then figure it out as I go and see what the response is. the details, they really do matter. And then you said, I just made this pic because sometimes I get scared on YouTube with all the stuff going on, but feel kind of lame, but love Bridget Bardot, even though you can't really tell it's her. You couldn't, but it's beautiful. The notebook paper and ransom letter are key for me. Yes, Amanda Stovall. And the fact that there was like impressions on the notepad that had been pre-written and then like they kind of messed up and they did it again. Like, no, that's wrong, killer. Don't scribble it out. You gotta make this look perfect. What? What? ¿Por qué? Huh? That don't make no sense. But, that's what makes that case so interesting. So I am going to take off now, only because I am parched and I left my other drink far away. So I will be getting off, but I will be back. I'll be back really soon, and especially if there's case updates. So, one more thing. No, just joking. I do have to show you guys one more thing just because I want to make sure that everything gets awareness. And, this is something that was shown to me yesterday, and I thought about it all day long, and I couldn't get it out of my head. So I will show it to you guys right now, really quick, just as a finisher offer, and then I will pop it off after, okay? So this is goodbye for now. Goodbye now.
I heard anything from her.
Silence. Not you, but the video. Okay. So I'm going to make it big. But yeah, this has really been fun for me. Now that I know that I'm able to look things up and then have somebody to share them with, it does more for me than you guys actually know. I like attention, I've gotten those comments like, you guys are just doing it for attention. Well, yes, of course, I want people to watch. Right? So this was sent to me yesterday on TikTok, and they asked me to cover it. Nobody in particular, just I think somebody who follows me and probably knows that I would do it, that I would share it. So I did. I made a TikTok. I made a few TikToks about it, and then this is the one that I put on Facebook. So I'll talk to you guys later. After this ends, I'm just going to pop off. But thanks, guys. I'll see you.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I got a tag on TikTok today to help find this missing girl. Her name is Sydney Gunter. She's 15 and she was last seen at Eckhart, Indiana. She was last seen with a 25-year-old man named Josue. Sydney is 5 feet 8 inches tall, 120 pounds with brown hair and blue eyes. She was last seen wearing a yellow one-piece pajama and was last seen in a white Ford Mustang. She is in danger. This is my sister. Her name is Sydney. She's been missing since June 7th. I haven't heard anything from her. I'm missing her. I'm missing her face, her smile, her laugh. Please, if you know anything about my sister, this is all the information from the Silver Alert from our state. She's missing from Indiana, but could be headed anywhere. Please help me find my sister. I know everybody's been asking for an update on my sister's case. If you're not familiar, my sister's name is Sydney Gunter. She's missing out of Elkhart, Indiana. She was last seen between 12:30 and 2:30 a.m. She is said to be with this 25-year-old man. His name is Josue Garcia, could be going by Josh Garcia. If you know this man, call 911. Call the Elkhart County Sheriff's Department or call my number at 574-524-0216. He is said to be with my sister again, Sydney Gunter, missing out of Elkhart, Indiana. Let's find this man. Spread this like wildfire. Bring my sister home. I know everybody.
Hi, guys.